Welcome back to Everything Whiskey. I'm Callum.
I'm Sam.
And today we're having a look at the Glenlivet 12.
Alright, so basically today, the Glenlivet 12, we said we were going to stay away from the budget, like scotches, and we kind of deviated a little bit. It's not like budget, it's like 60, 65.
65, yeah. It's a single malt though, so.
And it's a single malt, so it's like, it's kind of a bit better. Feels a bit better than drinking VAT 69 and stuff like we've been used to. Basically, Glenlivet is an insanely popular distillery that's been around for ages in Scotland. It is, specifically this one is the 12. It disappeared in like 2015-ish, but then it got re-released and is dubbed Double Oak.
Yep.
The word is that it is meant to be the exact same liquid inside of it. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, there's obviously when you have things like that occur, you get people saying, I like this one, the old one better, or something, they've changed it and stuff like that. But we don't actually know if anything has changed. The barrels are aged in a combination of European oak and American oak barrels. And basically it's just like what you look at when you think of a well-priced stock standard speyside / Highland, single malt. It's just like, it's very nice and it's got a nice mouthfeel, pretty much no burn. Don't really get any ethanol flavors. No. Lots of that kind of maltiness mixed with the kind of deep, dark, overly ripe fruits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. It's just like one of those classic ones that you're going to most likely have already tasted before, or if you haven't and you do taste it, it's going to remind you of something else you've tasted.
I'd be surprised if
unique whiskey.
If people haven't tasted this. It's like, I reckon
Me too.
It's huge. Glenlivet is massive. Yeah. We drank the Founders Reserve. I don't think we ever reviewed that. But the Founders Reserve, I have no idea. What is that?
That was cheap as well, wasn't it?
Is that even an age statement, the Founders Reserve?
I don't think so. I think that one was cheap, from memory.
Yeah.
Because
well, that
it
was nice.
Like...
This smells similar. Awfully similar.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if the Founders was... I feel like it was cheaper. Let me do a quick little...
I think it's only like 10, 15 though. It's not that much cheaper.
Basically, the Founders Reserve is like $5 cheaper.
Yeah.
And aged in first fill American casks and is not an age statement. So this is a step up, I guess, from there, but like
a very
not by much. It just depends. And I guess first fill bourbon casks are going to imbue a different taste than used European and American oak barrels. Mm-hmm. I definitely prefer the used oak. When it comes to finishing and aging, same with the European oak barrels. New oak barrels can kind of just leave some weird green notes if they're not left in there long enough. Mm-hmm. But keep going with your nose notes because I wasn't even paying attention.
I mean, it's just sweet, malt, fruity, basically. The core notes are just those. It's like honey on cereal as well. Like the all brand.
Definitely honey.
Stuff.
I'm getting some nice spiciness, like it's like really flat and easy to handle, but it's just kind of like this, maybe just allspice, like 5-spice, kind of just like a general sprinkling, just kind of this generic spice kind of note. It's not got like nutmeg like bang on. It's just kind of like there's something underneath that just kind of goes along the lines of a Christmas kind of fruit cake spiciness that you would get.
Now that you've thrown up the spice, I'm getting vanilla pepper. I'm getting a bit of
it's a little bit of pepper. Maybe like a little bit of like it's definitely light. Mostly this is malt and dried fruits for me. This is sultanas and stuff. This is a little bit of that dried apricot.
Yeah, the taste is very similar as well. That maltiness kind of sticks to a bit more than what it does on the nose.
It's got that funky maltiness.
That we don't necessarily like either.
We're just not in love with at the moment. We used to be really into it, but as I've said probably too many times, we're just like in that kind of Isla and bourbon kind of high proof bourbon stuff. So when you go Speyside Highland, you kind of get that. It's hard to describe it. It's kind of like bran flake cereal. It's just kind of like this malty, little bit funky, little bit mildewy. What's the word? It's like that like cherry impact as well. Like you get those super overripe fruit that kind of becomes a little funky and it sets people off.
Did you say cherry?
Or sherry.
I was going to say sherry.
Yeah. I'm not getting cherry. It's more So there's that kind of funk, and that normally doesn't bother us, but it seems to be when there's like a slight impact of that mix with that just like brand malt funk, it's just like not what we're like super into at the moment.
And searching as well. Like, we don't seek this flavor profile out.
No, not really. It's just like we'll have it if we're kind of just like relaxing and stuff. But it's not like if we're going to buy a new bottle that we haven't had before, we're definitely not going to run to a Speyside Highland.
Unless we know it's nice. Or like we've heard good things, then we might try it.
But like what? Yeah.
Like a Cragganmore. Like I'd probably go buy a Cragganmore again because I really like that. But I'm not going to go buy a. I can't think of any. That's what I mean. A Glen.
Well, see, it's like
Glenroths. I'm not going to go out and buy Glenroths.
There, to be honest. there's things like Craigellachie, which are just like good. There's nothing wrong with them. They taste nice and I enjoy drinking it, but it's just not my first choice when I'm gonna have a scotch.
Exactly.
And it's just because of the region and that flavor profile of that region. And the similar thing with this, I'm getting a bit more of the apples when it comes to the palate than the nose.
Freshly cut apples.
Yeah, because I didn't get really any fresh fruits on the nose. It's mostly just the dark fruits.
Yeah, with those apple notes, you know, when you cut up an apple and they start to brown a little bit, they oxidize. I'm getting that kind of flavor profile.
Yeah, it's like it's like more of a sweet but less kind of fresh dew, like citrusy, not citrusy, but just less bright, and it's just a bit more subdued.
You could definitely add ice as well to this. Like it would stand up.
Yeah, it's 40%, isn't it?
It's 40%,
right?
It's quite oily.
It's creamy. It's like a creamy mouthfeel. It's quite oily. It's got that thickness. So I think a bit of ice would be fine. I wouldn't leave it very long, but
just cool it down and touch it and drink it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be fine. I don't know. I haven't. Have you seen many premium Glenlivets? Because like, is the general gist of what they're releasing more like to the general public, or is that just like what we're seeing the most of? Do they have like a large premium line?
I don't think they have a large one.
I assume they do, but not a large one maybe.
I saw one video from the Sidemen where they were doing cheap versus expensive.
And Glenlivet was on there.
And they reviewed, because they're not whiskey drinkers, they did a cheap version was the famous grouse. And the expensive was Glenlivet XIV or something like that. It's like $600. The bottle.
Yeah, there's one here. The Glenlivet XV 25-year-old is 600, and then there's the. Oh wait, that's 3 of them. That's why that one's more expensive. There's the Glenlivet Code Scotch, which looks cool, and we could buy that one. It's like all matte black. Can't see into the bottle. It's got like stars on it.
Yeah.
It's like $210. We could get that one. Yeah. So anyway, they're popular. They're around us. We've bought them. They're worth rebuying. So this is something I definitely recommend, especially if you're like not wanting to buy the VAT 69s and you're wanting something affordable-ish and single malt that's nice for the palate.
$15 more. You can jump up
massive
to this. I mean,
it's
drop the $15.
That's the problem with the budget ones. It's like you go to other countries and budget is budget, but here it's like you don't get any more budget than $40. Like $35 maybe. You get lucky. There's nothing. I don't think a $20 bottle of whiskey has ever set foot in this country. Like I don't think that's ever happened. Like I'd love to find one that price retail.
Yeah.
So. That's like a normal size bottle, obviously, not like your little 500ml ones. Alrighty, thank you for watching this episode of Everything Whiskey. If you liked it, please like and see future episodes from us. Maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. If you do, see you next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.